morning and happy Saturday, you guys. It is Amanda and Barron with Kickin Cancer Cares on KSLM Radio, 104.3 FM and 1220 AM. Our sponsor for this first half is Oddmost Pizza. They are absolutely amazing, you guys. So I have to admit, the other day I went and got like Costco pizza and brought it home, and my kids,
you can tell a difference, can't you?
They were like, "What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? I thought we did Oddmost Pizza only. Okay, this is not it compared to Oddmost." It was just cute.
You can tell that Costco does this mass-produced pizza.
Yeah.
$10.
Where Oddmost is definitely made with love, real ingredients, fresh ingredients. The flavor is definitely there compared to other places. So it was cute. It was like, I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Noted. Never again.
Even some of the
Oddmost
other
only.
places in town that do pizzas, I have found that you get less ingredients for the same price or more.
Yeah.
Without throwing other pizza places underneath the bus, but Oddmost definitely puts the ingredients on there. Mike has figured out how to keep this cost effective and give you a good quality pizza.
Yes.
And Mike's really done a good job of collaborating with other businesses in town as well.
Hitch hot sauce.
Hitch hot sauce. That's a new one too.
Hitch heat you can handle.
To go with their wings.
Yes. And I love how so when he does the Salem Capitals do their games.
Yep.
He has his whole setup out there, and he's hired one of my nieces and one of my nephews, and it's just really cool because he gives the younger generation an opportunity to learn work in those types of settings. And so I love his heart for the community, not only for kicking cancer, but helping youth and learning how to work and giving them those skills. So he's awesome.
Well, in the first year that Jason Conner was here, he had some kind of concession set up, but then he and Mike began working together, and so now you have this much better option with the pizza there at the games, and it's just been a great setup for Mike at the games as well.
Yes, it has.
And we can't forget Michelle Ashley likes to collaborate with her dessert.
Yes. So when Mike is at the Oddmost Pizzas at the games, Michelle Ashley's Custom Cakes is also there and does her desserts and all the things. So he's collabs with her as well.
He's done a lot more collab with a lot more places.
Yes, Sandy Ann Brewing's one of them as well.
Yep. The beers that are there you can get from Oddmost with the Sandy Ann Brewing. So
yes, so great guy, huge in our community and uplifting everybody and all businesses and community members around him. So
it's a lot of what Mike has done. That is a direction that I want to keep going with Kickin Cancer, and we'll get into that more here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But just a huge shout out to Mike for sponsoring this show.
Yes.
And the work that we've done together.
Yes, making it possible to broadcast these awesome stories we tell and all the information. I love it.
And speaking of awesome stories, our guest last time was Joey James.
Yes.
Who came in and really did a good job of telling us about his background in country music and things that he's done and how he kind of got himself to some kind of a level within Nashville. But then moving back here and supporting his mother out.
Yeah, who has cancer. His heart is so big and so pure. I really enjoy him. We've had him in a few times, not just on the Kickin Cancer show, but others. And he's just got a heart of gold. And it's sad. My heart goes out to him and his mom, and I hope everything goes as smooth as possible.
Yeah, well, he's done a lot of stuff with vet care.
Yes.
And that's huge for him, too, as the vets.
Yes, it is.
I do know that his event went really, really well.
Oh, good.
I think that they raised several $1,000s to go towards his mother because the reality is she got pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a really tough one to beat.
Very.
And she wants to take this road trip. Mm-hmm. She just kind of wants us to do this bucket list item, and
he wants to help.
He wants to help out, and so that money that they raise there will help with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I'm glad that was a success.
It was a huge success.
Okay, well, let's talk Kickin Cancer today.
Okay. Well, do you want to do a food here real quick?
Yes.
So our food, I know you kind of peeked at this one last time. Our food is watermelon, big one for this time of year. Why it's a disease fighter, you know it's refreshing, but did you know it's a superfood? So watermelon is bursting with carotenoids and antioxidants that early research suggests may play a role in halting the progression of cancer.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's also one of the most hydrating foods around with about 93% water content.
Okay.
One of the big things it has that people don't realize is it's clear full of lycopene, which is specifically for prostate cancer.
Okay.
And for guys, that's a really big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Beating your watermelon and preventing the prostate cancer.
We love our watermelon. I get the big ones from Costco.
Yes.
And we eat it within 3 days, 4 days, but we grub on it. I'm actually thinking of getting like a juicer.
Okay.
And starting to make my own juice. I'm not even sure. It's a whole new world that I haven't even explored.
You're
but
going to make watermelon juicers.
I mean, like watermelon,
slushy?
cantaloupe, all of the just healthy superfoods.
Oh,
even
yeah.
putting greens in it and making it like it goes through the machine and comes out as a juice.
Yep.
And then bottling it for my family and
Well,
going
there's so
about it,
much water in the watermelon. That's be perfect for you to do the juice
yeah.
side.
So stuff like that, like making a probably not just like one fruit, but multiple fruits and vegetables mixed together. Kind of like, what are those girls? What were those ladies' names from the colonoscopy place?
Oh, Melissa and Casey?
Yeah, how they do their juices and make like all the super fighting foods and whatnot in a juice. And so I really want to maybe explore that because, it looks really good.
Well,
and healthy.
And that'd be great to just combine those different juices to create your own juice,
Tons of those different superfoods into one.
So many to choose from inside the magazine.
Exactly.
I'm excited for you to do that, then actually see what your end result
I'll have to
is.
bring you a sample.
So see what the
Hopefully it
samples
tastes
are.
okay.
So you started with a question, and I think it's a good way for us to go.
Kicking Cancer. Tell me, what is Kicking Cancer? And I would love to know how you got started, what became Kicking Cancer, and all that it is.
That's a great question because I think we're at a point as an organization that it's good to look back on the roots and how it started, why it started, and what it was designed to do for people. And so it was 2018. It was over 7 years ago. It was in May of 2017. And really it was just an effort for me to try to do something for my sister Brenda and to do something fun. And so we had gone to Canby, and we had done this Warrior Dash event. It brought awareness to what she was going through, but it also created a GoFundMe account that her son set up to try to help her out. And when the news article aired on KGW, I thought that'll drive people to the GoFundMe account, and people can try to help her out financially. The one thing I realized, there's this gap in what will be funded by insurance and what won't be funded by insurance, and all of her natural medications just weren't being funded by insurance, and so it just started out as an effort to try to help her out. And the shirt that we have now, it wasn't even close to that back then. It said "Help Team Brenda" across the front of it.
Yeah.
Had a donkey in the back of it. And I remember she flew home, and somebody said, "Hey, you might have an idea." So she flew back in July, and we were trying to get a big group picture so we could get on some other news station. And so she flew back. We got about 20 of us together at a park to get a picture. Sent that off to several of the radio stations, and one of them up in Portland grabbed it and called us. And so in August, we were actually interviewed by a radio station up in Portland.
That's cool.
As to what we were doing, because at that time we thought maybe people don't want to get all muddy, but maybe they would do a walk.
Right.
And so we collaborated with the city of Salem, and they were doing a 5K run back then. And so we said, hey, come out and do this run/walk with us. And about 25 people showed up to do that in these shirts. Well, at that point, we said, maybe we've got an idea for a logo. Maybe we can actually redesign this. And so we sat around a table together, and we began taking this little donkey and how do we turn this into some kind of a logo. And, so many businesses, they have origins as to what got them there. What, 30 some odd years ago, what got Mike Sublett to take on Moe's.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it was. We're on this table, created this little shirt. We had a bunch of people show up to this walk together in a bright pink shirt.
I love that.
And that would have been October 2018.
Can I ask what made you pick the donkey?
As we did the first shirt, my first idea was because we had this little team to do the Warrior Dash. We were gonna do Bustin', cancer.
Okay.
Since she had breast cancer.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, what if we put some kind of a logo on it? So when I went to the T-shirt guy, he said, well, I can find this donkey. So he bought the logo, and the first one said "Kicking Cancer in the," with the donkey on it.
Right, right.
And we avoided the word ass altogether that had the donkey on it. Mm-hmm. Well, then we thought, well, let's take the donkey off the back. People kind of see it as you walk up to somebody.
Yeah.
So we moved the donkey around to the front. We took the "in the" off from it, just did the "Kicking Cancer," and just kind of designed out the whole logo.
Yeah.
So the donkey was cartoonish. It's angry, but it's funny at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. And we found that people began to resonate with that picture.
Yeah.
That logo. Mm-hmm. They were angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they didn't have to use the F word on any of the shirts.
Yes, correct.
So that's kind of where the donkey came from.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So after we did that walk, we realized that if we're going to go anywhere, we probably needed to form a nonprofit. And that was a lot of work.
Oh, I bet. So this turned into you wanting to support your sister.
Yep.
And be there for her and help her get the funds that she needed to continue her journey to, holy smokes, I can actually help more people.
Right.
And that fits your whole heart and your vibe because you are such a giver. And so you wanted to create an opportunity for help for more.
For helping more people out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was so interesting because at that time we had created a Facebook page. And somebody reached out through the Facebook page to Brenda, and it had some questions for her about cryoablation, which is another alternative way to deal with cancer. Mm-hmm. So do you remember talking about cryoablation in the past?
Vaguely. If you remind me, it'll come up.
Well, most of the time we're going to attack that cell internally with chemotherapy. If you can take a long needle and you can inject nitrous oxide,
you freeze it,
and you
right?
freeze
Yes,
it.
yes,
So
yes.
so cryo, the freezing process, that was what this gal was asking about, was what is cryoablation? Is it a viable option for me? Because we had posted this article about it. So Brenda calls me up and she says, hey, do you know this particular person? They lived in the Newburgh area, Sherwood, Newburgh area. And I had never heard of the lady. Mm-hmm. Her name was Marissa. And she said, well, this person reached out to me about cryoablation.
Yeah.
And so I contacted Marissa and we sat down together and we said, well, maybe there's something we can do to help you out. And this is how the Go Team concept built out was, how can your community, people you know, step in to help you out in your particular journey? Mm-hmm. Well, because she had grown up in Sherwood and lived in Newburgh, she had a lot of contacts in that area. And so we contacted Mod Pizza and we said, hey, we know you guys do fundraisers. Can we do a fundraiser at this Mod Pizza? And when I got there to help out, I didn't know anybody because they were all Marissa's friends. Right. But they all show up to support her in her battle. Yeah. And it all gets people buy pizzas and it's all said and done. And then Mod Pizza gives you a check back. And was it a ton of money? No. But we were a small organization with really one focus at that point, which was to try to help some other organizations out, some other people out. And so we gave her a check for a couple $100.
Yeah, which when you've got nothing, that few hundred is huge.
It was a big help for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I also realized was maybe there was a way we could do some educational programs along the way. Okay. And so we began setting up these little small workshops. And that had a little bit of cost to it. And because we're a small organization with no funds, we began doing some fundraisers to try to help cover the cost to do these educational workshops. Yeah. And we didn't have an office, we didn't have a building to go to, but we could find a place to go. And we did one at the Kroc Center. Mm-hmm. We did one at Dr. Isaacson's lobby office, right? Mm-hmm. We would find some local speakers like Casey McAllister to come in and talk to us. Yeah. And so people have often said, well, the money that you're raised with Kickin Cancer, what's that going for? Mm-hmm. Well, back then it was going for these workshops.
Yeah.
And we did some bigger ones that I call them clinics, only because they were like 5 speakers.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. But we began developing some kind of an educational system out to try to get the word to people.
Yeah. Well, which is huge because it's one thing to help people raise money to help them with their needs and whatnot, but it's a whole nother ball game to bring the educational piece on what you can do when you have cancer or to help you prevent from getting cancer.
Right.
I mean, from just us starting this show and the education that you've shared with me, I've adjusted my life hugely as well as my whole households because I have that education.
Yeah.
And what you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
Simple as that. And education is power.
Well, and it was also during that same time period, I thought maybe if there's a way to get on a radio to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so I had reached out to Terry Soul back then.
Yes.
And I came on as a guest for him a couple different times. It was his show, and so he had lots of guests that came in. Mm-hmm. But it was my first exposure to radio.
Yeah.
And also to giving information that way.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Terry was very well seasoned in the radio industry, so he was very good about guiding those conversations.
Yeah.
But it brought awareness to some shocking numbers people didn't know.
Yeah.
Or they weren't aware of. Mm-hmm. In fact, it was kind of fun to always bring something new that would kind of shock Terry.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because he wasn't aware of all that kind of stuff.
A lot of people aren't.
No.
Truly, like, I care about my health, but I wasn't aware of a lot of this stuff because it's not on your radar.
No.
And so you just don't know.
You just kind of go down the path you're used to going down.
Right.
For example, one of them I brought to Terry was how many cases of cancer were going to be happening here in Oregon alone. Mm-hmm. And I don't have the number in front of me right now, but I remember that at that time, it was roughly the number of people that lived in Newburgh.
Right.
So...
And he was probably like, holy smoke.
Yeah.
Eye-opening.
For 26,000 people in Oregon, new cases of cancer.
New cases, not current cases, not cured case, new.
New cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one that was even more disturbing was that there was going to be over 8,000 that were going to pass away from cancer.
Wow, yeah.
You know, we're talking roughly the size of Staten as for people.
Makes you start to be like, okay, what can I do to either prevent from getting cancer or what can I do to help heal this in a better way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we started with that grassroots idea of how can we support somebody locally. It wasn't going to be any fundraising money needed for us to do it. We would just identify somebody, work alongside them and their friends to put together an event. Our next one after Marissa was Dave Wentz, who came in as a guest on the show, mm-hmm. right? And he had already had his whole Vietnam situation come up. And so I knew that I'd done that thing with Mod Pizza. And so I reached out to Jersey Mike's. Mm-hmm. Same situation. Yeah. You just go to Jersey Mike's, you have dinner. And so we just call it, having dinner for Dave.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just so thrilled that Dave has battled cancer, and he's still plugging along.
Yes, he is.
As much as life had thrown at him, he is still doing great. Mm-hmm. And I think that show of support by your community, by your friends, plays big time on your on your sales mm-hmm. and responding to that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, we've talked big about support in general.
In general.
When you have support and you're surrounded by positivity, it makes all the difference in the world. It truly does. It gets you out of that rut. It gives you hope. It gives you purpose and meaning. And support is huge in all the ways.
Yeah. I were talking to someone early on, and their father had been diagnosed with stomach cancer, mm-hmm. and he didn't have support, and he had chosen not to reach out for support, and so this is what I have, and then within a few months, he had passed away. Because you need that support around you to help you get through your situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that was really kind of the roots of what Kickin Cancer was going to be. No real budget. Mm-hmm. No real money needed, no real fundraising efforts needed. Just how can we create a little bit of money to put together these workshops, mm-hmm. and how can we create a little bit of money to do these Go teams?
Yeah.
And watch each Go team blossom as it developed.
Yeah.
You know, we had gotten a request in 2019 from who is now on our board. Her name's Cheryl Good, but her friend had been diagnosed with bone cancer.
Okay.
And her name's Rachel Brettbrunner.
Okay.
And she's agreed to come in and be a guest on the show in a few weeks.
Oh, awesome.
Right? But I said, well, what if we did, because I had partnered with the city of Salem to do the 5K walk, what if we create our own 5K walk?
Okay.
Down the Corvallis
Yeah.
area, right? And there's a lot of permits you have to get if you're going to do a 5K walk, especially if you're going to cross streets and you're going to have. And so Cheryl did a phenomenal job of actually laying out a path that would never cross the street.
Okay.
So would not require anybody to have safety issues.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the hood to coast just happened.
Right.
Think about how much that takes when you're talking major roads, major free, intersections. But the path started at the Bi-Mart there in Corvallis, and it just went straight down the street, turned left, so you're not crossing the road, circled back through a park, circled up the road again, and then back to the starting spot. Just one big loop.
Okay.
With no crossings.
I love it.
We didn't do it as a timed run. It was just a fun walk. At that time, Rachel was still in her wheelchair, and so her husband and her kids pushed her around that big loop. But another guest we've had in the past, Danny Warren.
Yes, Juice Plus.
Juice Plus. Danny's husband had passed from bone cancer too. And so there was two groups that showed up. One all in yellow for bone cancer, and they're all there to support Rachel as she goes through her battle. And another whole group in blue, which was Jane's favorite color because he had bone cancer as well.
Okay.
And as you see them walking this path, they're all there specifically for somebody,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And one of the people that I met at that walk was Robin Paulison.
Okay.
Robin was Cheryl's friend, so she came to support Rachel.
Oh.
But I remember sitting down with Robin after we did the event and having this conversation of where I kind of envisioned Kickin Cancer possibly going. We'll get more of this in the second half, but she had an idea for a program that does require some funding.
Right.
And it's called Pathways. And so I said, well, what you want to do is a phenomenal idea. I can tell you that the work to become a nonprofit is extensive.
Right.
But what if you were a program inside of Kickin Cancer?
Okay. Yeah.
What if you were just something that we do? And I think as time progresses, I think this is going to be a bigger part of what Kickin Cancer is. We're going to focus more of our efforts on Pathways.
I agree.
Because Pathways is there not for the person that has the cancer, but for the other siblings, the other kids, and try to give them some mentorship and try to give them some hope to get through what they're dealing with.
So they're not left behind or feeling lost and confused. I mean, even if they are, it gives them that little bit of hope and something to do.
Yeah.
A little bit of focus on them during the difficult times.
Yeah. Robin had shared with me the statistics of how many suicides occur, how many of these kids go into drugs, where their life goes, because they're just lost and confused themselves as what's going to be happening within their family.
Especially a child. As an adult, it's hard to wrap your mind around cancer and all that comes with it.
Right.
Could you imagine your children trying to grasp that?
Yeah.
Am I going to lose you? What does that mean? Then what happened? It's just, that's a lot. So I love that you guys have this program, Pathways, to focus on those kids because it's important.
It's hugely important. I had met too many people over that time period where someone in the family had gotten cancer, and then what the other siblings had done. One of the siblings went as far as committing suicide, and I was just heartbroken when I heard that whole story. And so I said, Rob, we have got to find a way to work together to create this program so that kids can survive better as they go through this cancer journey.
Absolutely. I agree.
So that was early 2019, and that became the catalyst for what Kickin Cancer was going to do as it began to grow as an organization.
I love that you grew it. It went from raising money for your sister to go teams to then educational classes and clinics, and it just shows that you started to see what the need was. It wasn't just finances. It was education. It was clinics. It was speakers for hope. It was pathways for the children. And so I love that it's almost like this snowball effect of the more you dive into it, the more you see the need in different areas.
Yeah.
And so you are covering those areas, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. And
really cool.
and now we're at a point where it's like people don't know that. So I just want to get the word out today as to what you're doing to help us as an organization become better and bigger.
Yeah.
And how can we move forward in the future?
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, but first I want to give a huge shout out to Oddmo's Pizza again. They are more than just pizza. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but they've got wings, salad, pastas. I mean, everything. Their wings are amazing, and they have that new, hitch sauce?
Yeah.
The new hitch sauce, Nashville hitch sauce. So go check them out. They deliver. You can pick up and all of that. So if you don't want to leave your house, have them deliver it to you, or just go pick it up, and boom, dinner or lunch is served.
It's ready to go.
Yes, it is. Okay, we'll be right back, you guys.
Thanks, Mike.